Oh my goodness, we got a new intro, huh?
No
You
intro, man.
act
That's
like you
fire
saw
right
it, boy.
there.
Act like you saw it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's fire right there, boy. We coming in hard now.
This is we already ready for 2023. We got it in here in October. Uh
Exactly.
Man, okay, we're not even gonna mess around. Let me go ahead and get everything lined up because it's gonna be a long show tonight with a lot of content, a lot of conversation. I want to make sure the comments are showing right because I know I told a lot of people to join. So
Yes,
welcome
yes,
everyone.
indeed.
Welcome everyone. Team No Sleep. Yes, Wednesday. We're gonna be going live
Yeah.
Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Appreciate you for joining. Montel, how you living, man? Talk to us.
Man, blessed as usual, man. Taking care of the family, grinding on the 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and just getting ready for whatever the man upstairs brings my way, man. Just so I can go ahead and follow in his footsteps.
I love it. I love it. I see Senior in the building. Show can officially begin. I see Mr. Cox in the building, Mr. Moderator for us himself. Appreciate you for joining. Today's show, we're gonna go and get into it. Right, a lot of negativity, and might as well just go and put it out there. Not even fake it. Not
Hmm.
even perpetrate. We got a lot of bad stories today, and there's no sugarcoat this. So let's go and get into this one in particular. The
Yes.
gunslinger, right? He was a bad man when he was playing ball. Green
Hmm.
Bay, Minnesota Vikings. Listen, he was exciting to watch, exciting to see him try to get out there and do something. But Brett
Hmm.
Favre, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope someone's recording. I hope you're listening. Brett Favre is a terrible human being. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way.
Yes.
We're just gonna start right there. We just
Yeah,
gonna lay
yeah,
that out
yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you why we feel in this way. So there is a program in Mississippi for helping welfare recipients, for helping people and families in need, for helping folks who are down and out on their luck, whatever the case may be, for helping children and helping families. The government has created this program, supplied some funds, supplied some money, supplied some resources to this welfare program. uh, the money is distributed via some politicians, and Brett Favre, through his influence, through his who he was, and his stature in society, he was able to work closely with some politicians to uh, rub on somebody's shoulders, tap them the wrong way, and say, you know what, I know this money was supposed to go here, but my daughter, listen, she's playing volleyball, and the volleyball squad needs a new court. My daughter is playing sports, and at her school they need some new facilities. So let me get a few $100,000 for volleyball facilities and for some new football facilities. This right here is being at the crux. That's the story right there, right? I'm just paraphrasing right now. I'm gonna put the link so folks can get into it as well. But just if you know that right there, if you know that there were some welfare programs in Mississippi that were designed to support folks that were in need, and you've got this man of influence who is talking to politicians because he's got them in his Rolodex and in his phone, and said, no, let's deviate some of that money that was supposed to go to these kids and to these families, but let's give it to my daughter's school so they can have top tier volleyball and football facilities. That's a terrible man right there. Montel, tell the folks a little bit about this. I'm going to scroll through the story right here so folks can also see some
Um,
context. But what do you think about this when you first saw this story? When you first saw this story, not now, but when you first saw this
yeah.
story, what did you think?
When I first saw the story, my reaction was like, I can't believe this. We also got to think, Mississippi was in a state of emergency with drinking water, just in
Yes.
Jackson. But that money could have been allotted to or given to. This person, like you said, he uses power of influence and his connections up in the government office and the people there that have influence for them to help deviate millions of dollars to donate for a volleyball court and football facilities when Brett Favre has the money himself in his pocket. He could have used his own money if he wanted to give them that much money. I can't help but thinking, and I'm going off kind of with Shannon Sharp because I watched it a little bit when
Yeah.
his partake on it. I can't believe if this was and I'm talking about any man of color that somehow finagled government out of $5 million to donate to anywhere, he would have been first publicly crucified, if not criminally charged, taking that money away. That's
Yeah.
my first thought about everything. I don't understand why Brett Favre is getting the pass because he can throw a football. Just because you can throw a football and you win a Super Bowl does not make you a great human being or a person of character. This dude's, I'm gonna be frank, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
For doing it.
So, and I want to go off of that, right? Because again, the story that I picked up right here, right now, more and more stories about the man's character are coming out, right? It's not that he's just stealing money now from children and from babies and from families. We're starting to see more about the content of his character, and we're seeing some reports that, listen, just the way that he treated people in general, the way that he treated women in general while he was, again, in the spotlight and in that era of influence, being that starting quarterback, he was just not a good dude at all, right? He just treated people not with respect and things of that nature. So this is who he is. Now it's starting to come out who he is.
Yeah, he's an asshole that used his position of power to do the things that he wants. And it hasn't changed since he's retired. Mm-hmm. He's using his position of power and his status to get what he wants. And that's the definition. That's just his definition of an ass. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's using because he could throw a football and he was famous in order to influence people who want to take away money from those that need it, especially with that water crisis. I mean, those people went weeks without clean water. And this guy's going to go ahead and take money from a fund to build a volleyball court for Southern Miss.
I think that's what makes this. I think that's what makes this more painful for us, right? Because we talked about the whole water issue right there in the same state at the exact same time when that should have been headline news, when there should have been folks helping Deion Sanders, look for facilities for his team while they were trying to get ready to play their game, and all of that stuff, doing it the right way. Why are we finding out that Brett Favre took the money from the TANF fund, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families fund, right, that was supposed to go to help some of those folks that were in need, but instead took it and deviated that to a volleyball field and to some football facilities?
Why does he have access to take any money at all? Like, that's my problem. And I mean, don't get me, Brett Favre's not the only ass in this story. It's the person that allowed to get in the funds as well, who was ever the governor or senator or whatnot. Yeah. He's an ass too for being able to do that, scratching his back.
That would be Governor Phil Bryant right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Phil Bryant. So that tells me right now they don't care about the citizens of Mississippi. They don't care. And everyone gets pissed off when they talk about there's two Americas. There's that America, and then there's poor people America. Poor people America, this is how they get treated. Things that are supposed to be done for them, things that are supposed to be allocated to help them out, to get them out of their situation, or to assist them through the situation. These types of things or white-collar crimes always take place, and they get swept under the rug. Brett Favre has been in this situation. This story's been out, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks? And not yet has it been the headline of any sports center.
So let's talk about that too, right? So let's talk about that. And I've got the headline right now. Hey, what I see at Jim Fusion, appreciate you being here, man. He says it's all wrong. He should be in jail. Completely agree.
Absolutely.
Why is it that this man is stealing over $5 million? He didn't take all the $5 million himself, right, and put it in his pocket or put it in his daughter's school. But why is this man, who is, again, man, he's not a role model, but could have been kind of influential in the eyes of a lot of folks. Why are we not talking about him, but instead we're talking about Colin. We're talking about other things. And when I say Colin Kaepernick, we talk about Michael Vick, right? So many black athletes who did misdeeds were crucified in the media for lesser wrongdoings in this. This is just brutal. Right?
I mean,
this is inhumane.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. Let's take Michael Vick's situation, because they're similar quarterbacks, same era, same time.
Yeah.
Michael Vick was convicted for gambling on dog fights.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I understand the animal cruelty part about it. It's kind of inhumane and all that. But let's be in retrospective. It's two dogs. It's dogs fighting, not human beings, not people that work every day, breathing everything. They're dogs, just like we slaughter cows to eat, just like we do other things. They're animals. And he paid his price. He got slaughtered, and he lost a lot of money. He got slaughtered in the media. He did his time in jail, and then he had to do everything after that. Also with the illegal gambling that goes along with that. This man stole, in coincidence with the government, $5 million. Whatever Michael Vick didn't equate to $5 million at all. And you can say, oh, well, Brett Favre didn't hurt anybody. He didn't hurt any living creature. Yeah, he did. He hurt all the citizens that fund was set up for.
Man, yeah.
I don't think people understand, not having clean water for 3 weeks. That money could have been allocated to help those people. That means you can't cook. That means you can't drink water. That means you can't shower. That means you can't send your kids to school without having bottles of water. You have to take take bottles of water, run a bath, and get in the bath in order to wash yourself. Those types of things. And people are just bypassing, oh, well, he didn't really hurt nobody or he didn't hurt anything when he did it. He stole $5 million that was supposed to be initially there to help when crises and situations like that happen. So he did hurt people. Yeah. He hurt everyone in Jackson, Mississippi that had to go through that suffering situation by taking that money. They could have helped those people out a lot. Yeah. So he shouldn't be off the hook. He should go to jail, or he should be definitely persecuted by public scrutiny. And this kills me, man. This kill culture, or this culture that we have, this meat culture that slaughters everybody else in the media and not slaughtering him. You know, this crucified culture that we have that will slaughter people that says anything about a gay slur. We'll slaughter them. We'll slaughter anybody that says anything about Jews. You know, if they say anything proper about Jews, we'll slaughter. It's a cancel culture automatically off the rip. This dude just stole from 5 million, and let's be predominantly Jackson, which is an African American town. Yeah. He just stole this place from millions of black people, and there is nothing they're saying about it.
Nobody's saying anything. You know, he's already lawyered up. I believe it's a Trump lawyer. I haven't said that man's name in over 5 years, but it's a lawyer from 45. I just read about it today, and the fact, again, you're right, man. The fact that no one else is really paying attention to this egregious deed, especially when you think about the political dominoes, I think, that are going to fall into this, right? So many people were involved in this and helped to facilitate this. He didn't do it alone. Yeah, he may have picked up the phone, called the governor, and squeezed him and said, "Listen, man, you know me. It's me and you. I'm summarizing here. You know, let's get this done, and we'll take care of this some other day." Mm-hmm. You know, there was conversations that Favre also took some money for some commercials and for appearances that he probably did not do. So he started to pay some of that money back because now he's got caught. But he hasn't paid all the money back for that he's taken without meeting those particular obligations. This right here needs to be talked about, and this needs to be. He's got some explaining to do. He's been real quiet on social. Hadn't been any commercials. No guest spots on anybody's network. This right here, we need to figure out what's going on with this.
I think he's refused to go on TV and to discuss it. I think he had one conversation with somebody that was very brief. There was mainly no comment, or I can't comment on it now because of my lawyers or whatever. Blah blah this, blah blah that. The fact of the matter, man, if that was anybody else, and I'm 100% wholehearted to my heart, if that was a person of color that took that money, they would be crucified right now. Not only by public opinion, but I think they would be in jail. There would be a full-fledged criminal investigation going on why his black butt or his brown butt would be sitting in jail waiting for them to figure it out. I don't understand. Anybody in this world, me and you, James, if we swindle somebody out of $5 million and then somebody found out about it, we wouldn't be sitting here talking.
Man, if I took $50 from somebody here in my town, right? I already stick out a little bit here in my city. So if
you want a bad check in Minnesota, you get strangled to death from them. They're beaten and killed.
Say that one more time, because you're not even exaggerating. Just say that one more time.
You try to pass a fake $20 bill in a liquor store, and you get pulled over and you get killed. You get strangled to death on camera.
Right.
So that's the life. That's the life of a black man. I hate to say it in America. You know, poor and different doesn't matter. That's the life. We're guilty to proven innocent, and this dude is not even being deemed as even guilty at all. We got it. You know what's funny? We get crucified in public media by the police, by the judge, by the lawyers, and everything all up front. This dude has to be proven to be guilty. He has to go through the process of being found guilty.
He gets the liberty to go through the process.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't even get to go. We don't have a process, and it's very frustrating because we've seen so many men that are affluent, that have money, that have influence, like you said, commit lesser crimes and be slandered through all this stuff. And this dude, like I said, not one time on ESPN, CBS Sports, and name all the other affiliates have this been the headline sports story at all. It's been a backstory.
It's just been a random mention, right? I like what Kevin is saying here. He says the ethics of the entire situation just aren't right. right? The people who donated to his foundation didn't get that money funneled to where it was supposed to go either, right? So again, there's that domino effect. Everyone who thought it was going to be on the up and up, everyone who was expecting to get some assistance, to get that water, to get those clothes, to get that food, that they got swindled by someone, again, who probably has a street named after him, who probably has a few buildings named after him. So again, someone who people look up to in that community.
Let me touch on something even more.
Yeah.
Why do you think people are so hesitant now when they ask to give the relief funds and give the situations? It's situations like this.
Talk about that, right? I mean, Hurricane Ian, right? You think, again, a lot of folks are hurting. A lot of folks are in need.
I'm going to talk about one even wholeheartedly. Let's talk about Kanye West and this BS thing he did with Larry Hoover.
Man, I ain't messing with Kanye. Don't bring Kanye.
But I'm saying no.
I remember talking about the concert.
Yeah.
Larry Hoover
concert with him and Drake that was supposed to make all this money to benefit Larry Hoover, which I think it should have went to a right cause. We haven't heard not one thing about Larry Hoover's lawyer getting paid, Larry Hoover being freed, any allegations or any of that money going to the right place. So we as people and fans of these athletes and entertainers, we keep giving to their situation to continue to be disappointed in where the money goes. So people wonder why people don't want to give the relief funds and they don't want to give these things when people are in need of it.
Yeah.
We don't know where the money goes. And this is just another prime example. We knew where this money went. It's supposed to go to welfare. It went to Brett Favre's pocket, and it went to his daughter's school.
Yeah. The problem is, we thought the accountability was, and we're harping on this, folks, because we really want you to understand that, again, the mentality that someone like a Montel and myself, black men in America who would not be able to not be able to be comfortable the day after this came out. Right. And just the fact that the way this man is still being able to just go about acting like nothing really happened. But just the fact that there was accountability, there were politicians, there were policies, there were rules. He worked with the governor. He talked to the governor, and still the money was knowingly funneled, swindled, loitered, moved to other locations where it was not supposed to go. So, I mean, that's just a problem with the way that this country is at right now. I mean, all is not bad, but this is not good. I'm just gonna say that all about this country is not bad, but what's happening right now is just not good.
It puts another stain on the political parties.
Yeah.
I think both. I'm not going. I don't know what the governor is of Mississippi. I think he's a Republican, but I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, this puts another stain on the political parties where it goes, how they can misallocate or misspend funds and do these types of things when they're supposed to be doing these things for the people, supposedly for the people or for the benefit of the people. And for a politician to use his relations with a superstar athlete, to do whatever he's going to do, that pisses me off. And the fact of the matter is, Brett Favre either has that money that he could have donated out of his own pocket to his daughter's school, or he could have raised that money outside of that funding to get the money for that school. That's the part that pisses everyone. That pisses me off more than everything. He could have used his star quality and his ability, like Dion does, in order to gather funds, get people to donate funds for the cause he wanted to do to help help his daughter's school get better facilities.
Yeah, could have done it the right way. Just could have done it the right way.
Right? Yeah. Not steal from the people of Mississippi, man. That's criminal, and he should be charged like a criminal. And I'm not understanding again. If that was, and I hate to harp on it, if that was any other athlete or any other famous African American or brown person, Hispanic, Samoan, whatever, they would have been crucified right now. And I truly believe that in the media because it's been done over and over and over again for crimes of lesser.
What are you guys' thoughts in the comments, in the community, in the audience? What do you guys think about this? Are we exaggerating? Do you think this is a big story? Do you think this needs more attention? I appreciate Jim. I appreciate Kevin for chiming in already. I know a lot of other folks are watching on Twitter. Shouts out to you. Come on over to YouTube so you can.
And you know what, man? Yeah. I'm disappointed in the cancel culture movement. I really am when it comes to this one. I mean, they usually come out. If you say something bad about Beyonce, man, they all over you.
They all over
you. Say something bad about. So I can't believe that there's not enough folks that are in that same cancel culture that's looking at this and saying, at least, publicly ridiculing them like they do some of our entertainers and athletes, for making comments. I mean, we could just say the young man and we could talk about the young man from Minnesota real quick in this situation as well. That said the gay slur in one of his comments on the
Yes.
social media,
Yeah.
and he got bashed everywhere. But he said a gay slur, which is wrong, and he apologized for it. This man stole $5 million from people that needed it, and there's not one thing being said on just bashing him on social media like that.
Yeah. I mean, $5 million is $5 million, and it's $5 million is different in California than it is in Mississippi.
But James, I think we're not looking. $5 million to steal it from people. It's different if I steal $5 million from somebody that has $100 million.
Yeah, and
right.
so that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Again, it's probably perceived differently in Mississippi than it is in California or some other more affluent location. But again, $5 million in Mississippi goes a long way to help the folks in Mississippi, right? That can buy you. That can buy you some that can buy you some good water.
That might have been enough to fix the whole water situation, to be honest with you. It might have been enough to fix it all.
Yeah.
The $5 million. So I'm just saying, man, he stole from people that were in need, and he's getting a pass because he was a good quarterback or a great quarterback back when he played. And he's a native of Mississippi.
Yeah.
And listen, that's not how the Ivies. He's white, and he's connected with the politicians. I hate to keep bringing. I don't like to bring race in this situation, but man, we're starting to deal with it with apples and oranges. I mean, we're starting to do apples and oranges, man. People of color are getting persecuted and looked down upon in the media. And I'm talking about the media, Sports Center, CBS Sports, and all them that shine light when they do something less crimes. And this dude has done one of the ultimate crimes, a white collar crime, of embezzling $5 million with the government in cahoots to do a volleyball court, and they're not saying anything about it.
Nobody.
Or very little
about it. This is bad, right? I mean, again, we
talk very little about it. Yeah, very little.
We gonna stay on this like we've stayed on a lot of other stories and figure out what's going on. I guarantee you, I will send out a number of IMs and tweets and DMs about this now that we've covered this and point people back to the show. So let's go ahead and move on, man, because it doesn't get better, in terms of the stories that we want to talk about. But, we definitely wanted to put that on your heart so you guys knew about that. Let me get this story up here to Indonesia. You got folks going to a game. Soccer is the game, right? There is no baseball. There is no American football. It's soccer, the majority of the globe, in terms of sporting events that a lot of people go to, not just a little 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people that may go to an NFL football game or even
they
college
make
game.
our NFL football games look like Pop Warner games.
Listen,
exactly.
there are real numbers of people at soccer games across the globe, and it's unfortunate that there was a melee that jumped in and happened in Indonesia not too long ago. This number says 125 people are dead after chaos and violence erupted. I think that number is actually higher. I think that last report I saw was at least 130 or something unfortunate like that. But listen, what's going on, man? I mean, what's going on? I cannot. Do we need to, or do they need to have less attendance at these events, or do they need to do something with the configuration of these stadiums? Because 100,000 folks in an arena where passions are flying, and some folks on the West Coast think about this. West Coast fans of football, or especially college football, are fair weather fans. You go to the East Coast and you think college football, those are real fans. When you start talking about the Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Georgia Tech, those are real fans. That's what it's like when you got 100,000 folks in a soccer stadium cheering on folks that are on the pitch out there, right? And then if something is going the wrong way, somebody throws a beer on you, whatever the case may be, we don't know what actually sparked this, but for over 100 folks to be dead now because they were at a soccer match, that just is that's a very sad situation, and I don't know how to even think about remedying the environment.
Yeah, I think the first thing is our prayers go out to the families that were affected by this. That's the one, first and foremost, man. That's tough. I mean, for any pill to anybody to swallow, that you go to an event where you're in an entertainment event where you're supposed to enjoy yourself, and then you find out that someone in your family has been trampled to death and dead due to I don't know what you would call it. It's not a riot. It was just whatever broke out and these people are trying to escape the stadium, and then they got trampled to death. I think it's sad, and I don't know the answer. You asked me what do they need to do? They're not going to lessen the crowds. I mean, and that's one of the things that make those soccer events so exciting, especially when we watch it here in the U.S. We see those big old crowds, and they're cheering for their teams, and we're like, man, that it sounds exciting. We have people. I know friends that save money to go over there to Spain and these places just to go watch a game. So they want to go see a game. So I think that ambiance is great. I think whatever happened in Indonesia was tragic, man. I know they said that there was something that happened in the crowd, and then when the police shot tear gas to disperse the crowd, that's when everything went haywire because people were trying to get out of where the tear gas and know what was going on. And then, as you say, someone screams fire, everybody in the room runs, right?
Everybody in the room runs, right? I mean, and is tear gas the best way, right? Again, when you got 100,000 people in the room, is Peter crying wolf and shooting tear gas, is that the best way to
I don't think so.
Stifle the situation.
I don't think that's the right way to maybe handle it. Yeah. But also, we're not in those police shoes, man. You got to think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's maybe 100 of you guys monitoring the game over with 100. I mean, it's one for every 10,000 fans. There's one police officer. So you don't know. I'm pretty sure it's pretty chaotic what's going on. And I'm not excusing the police. I don't think they handled it the right way, and I don't know what the right way would have been to handle that. But I do believe there has to be some type of international law now with soccer. I would hope that they would say we got to figure something out to be able to do something with these games because this is a large number. This is an accident, but this isn't the first time that incidents like this happen in soccer games. We've heard of people getting crushed or things like this. Certain other situations happen this in other countries as well. And again, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it happens. And I don't know enough about watching international soccer or being a security person or something like that, or how to disperse that. It would be great if we had your buddy that's from the Seattle Seahawks, maybe be able to explain a little bit more on how this one happened and how this could have been resolved or how this could have been, deviated. Yeah. But man, all I can say is my heart goes out to these families and friends of the people, the victims. Not only the victims that were killed, but also the victims that were hurt. I know there was over 300 or 400 people that were hurt in this situation as well. I mean, man, no one deserves that, man. I feel really bad for what happened.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. Maybe I'll ask Ron Little to come in and talk about, because again, he does with all the crowd control, crowd management for some large events, but again, how to disperse something, especially like this, that's already broken out, right? What's the best way to counter that and kind of alleviate folks being trampled? Just open up all the doors. I don't know. Open up all the doors. Just let everybody out, as opposed to certain things like that. I mean, when you see something like this, right? Youngsters getting hurt, because no one expects to go to a sporting event like this and be injured. No one expects to go to a concert and it not to be the fun that you paid for. But when something like this breaks off, it's just it's horrifying, man. Think about it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I know people from the U.S. that travel to these countries to go watch some of these soccer games and want to be a part of that experience. And did you see things like this, man? It's kind of, I don't want to say it puts a sour taste in my mouth, but it's just damaging, man. It's really heartbreaking. And I mean, again, we talk about it before. People we have to be really careful when we go to public places now. Abroad or domestic as well. We got to be really careful because these kind of situations happen. And I know this wasn't meant to happen. I'm sure whatever happened, it wasn't meant to happen. And again, police, I don't know if they handled it right or not. But man, the fact that it just happens.
Yeah,
it's really just It's just heart wrenching.
Yeah, and listen, I've been to, obviously not to this stature, this level, but I've been to some soccer matches here with the Republic FC up in Sacramento here, and the mood is the mood is high. I mean, folks are into their game, into their team. There's a lot of commotion. Vuvuzelas are being blown. Right, there's a lot of stuff happening, and if something was to jump off, I'm always looking for exits all the time, to be honest with you, just from my history and my background. But man, you just don't know what you would do if you were in that particular type of a situation with your loved one. Listen, my dad is on the line right now. I was at the the California State Fair about, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years ago with my family, my wife, my two kids, and my parents. We were walking around. It was late at night, and you could sense something was. I could sense something was about to jump off. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately kind of moved everyone to uh, out of the danger because I could sense someone was
Yeah.
about to jump off. And literally, I tell you what, 2 minutes later, some teenagers got to scrapping, and it got ridiculous. It got out of hand. I'm lifting my kids up over barricades and getting them out of the way because it turned into a melee, and that obviously wasn't 150 or so thousand people. But again, when you're in those situations, you don't have room to move. It's tough to try
I
to
mean, to
move and
put
try
yourself
to
in
be
the fans' perspective, man, it's got to be like you said, literally scary. I mean, I've been in a situation, in a club situation,
yeah
that someone threw tear
yeah
gas in there, and we all tried to get out.
yeah
And that was, no one died, thank God. But everybody was jumping out. I mean, myself, I jumped over the bar to another bar and got myself out of there.
yeah
So you got to think you're already in a hostile situation because you don't know, and then there's the unknown, then there's a danger area, then there's tear gas being dispersed everywhere. So all you do is you go off the instinct what you can do and panic. You panic and you try to run. If you have family, you try to protect your family.
yeah
If you're by yourself or with other adults, you try to run and get out. I can only imagine the fear. You know what I'm saying? The fear they had because they don't know what's going on. Remember, you don't know what's going on. Is there a bomb in the stadium?
yeah
Is there, we're in that day and age, right? We're in that day and age. Is there
yeah.
a bomb in the stadium? Is there a sniper in the stadium? So no one knows what's going on. That's how you react. That situation right there can easily happen in the United States.
Yes,
I,
definitely.
I promise you, going
Yeah,
to a movie theater, a crowded movie theater, and drop 4 or 5 firecrackers and see what happens.
it's not going to be a good look for
It's
anybody.
not going to be pretty.
It's not going to be a good look for.
You're going to be
Listen,
people
man.
trampling each other because then they're going to think it's somebody in here shooting, right? They're going to think somebody's sniping somebody, and everybody's going to panic and try to get out of here. I think we're you got to have that air of caution when you're in there. But I mean, again, no one knows when this is going to happen, man. That's that incident right there, man, is so sad. And I don't, it's heavy on my heart because if you put yourself in, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? You can't just sit there, right? Things are going on. Your mind is racing. You don't know what's going on. You're trying to get out of the situation, and tear gas is being flung. People are moving everywhere. It's just been real chaotic. So I hope the governing bodies of international soccer figure something out, what to do. But I don't think it's going to be any time in the near future. I really don't. I mean, I don't know how they
it's
can hurt.
unfortunate. Hopefully, everyone gets together, kind of collaborates, and says, we can do better somehow. I'm not smart enough to know the answer to that, but hopefully, the folks that live this and do this every single day figure something out. Mr. Tony Davis, see you in the building, man. Appreciate you for joining, man. You always bring some great value as well. Let's go ahead and move into some football conversations here. Let's move into. And not good football conversation. My Steelers are terrible, so we're not even going to go into that. We're not going to talk about all of that activity, but we are going to talk about concussion protocol. We are going to talk about why you still playing when you're not right. Right? When you get hit one game, we know you're not right. The doctor knows you're not right, but let you play anyway, and the next game you get hit again, you get rocked, you fall so hard that everyone, even folks that aren't football fans, even folks that don't know anything about blocking, don't know anything about how to hit somebody, how to tackle, when we saw Tua get into that fencing position, that defensive type of emotion after he got hit during the game, knew that he should not have been playing. Long story short, folks, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins was playing a few weeks ago. He got hit. If I was a betting man, I'd say 90% of the time he had a concussion. However, the doctors cleared him. They allowed him to play one more time. And as he was playing against the Buffalo Bills, it was the Bills, right? Last Sunday's game against the Bills, Tua got hit again and suffered another concussion. Subsequent to him going to the hospital, it all came out. And next thing you know, the doctor that evaluated Tua 2 weeks before, the week before this hit, has now been fired
Mm-hmm.
after an investigation. The unaffiliated neural trauma consultant who evaluated Tua was fired. Um, I got to get his last name right. I can't say his last name right. I'm not even going to butcher it. I'm just going to keep calling him by his first name. I'm going to call him by his first.
Yeah.
But man, talk about this, because listen, you live football,
Mm-hmm.
right? All of your kids play football. You coach, you mentor the youngsters and the amateurs, things of that nature. But talk about, the mental piece first, right? Well, oh no, the medical piece first, right? Here this doctor is allowing Tua to still play when he evaluated him and knowing that he was. Come on, I'm not even assuming. I'm not even gonna say
Yeah.
alleged. I'm not gonna say assuming. This neuro trauma consultant knew this man had a concussion and still let him go out there and play.
Mm-hmm. I mean, from my perspective, first of all, let's hope to a speedy recovery. But in all honesty, man, and I'm gonna talk about what you said. But all honesty, Tua needs to sue the Dolphins. He
Hmm.
needs to sue that doctor. He needs to sue the NFL, because what happened to him is a possibly career ending. He was misdiagnosed, or I should say misdiagnosed. He wasn't diagnosed correctly, and since he wasn't diagnosed correctly, they allowed him to play again in a short week, from Sunday to Thursday, played on a Thursday night, and he ends up getting a second concussion that we don't know what the ramifications that could be. And the part of that he got his concussion in is the back of his head. So we know kind of what happens in the part of the front lobe, because that's where you usually hit. That part is where they say the deterioration and stuff like that comes, and you get all these different symptoms from the concussion. Very rare do you get him in the back of the head. He has two in the back of his head. So we don't know what this is going to cause as far as long term for Tua. And that's number one. Medical wise, money. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Money talks, and I don't care what the Miami Dolphins said. They did everything. They got everything checked out to make sure he cleared. There's no way he was fine after that first hit. There's no way. He couldn't even walk. He was stumbling.
Yeah.
And they allowed him. He went through protocol. Well, then obviously protocol is not enough.
Yeah.
Right? It's not enough. Because you could watch the film and see him get hit, and you could tell that he wasn't ready to go back the following week. Yet, money talks. Miami Dolphins, we need to win. We need our starting quarterback. Let's forget our employee. We got to think about the bigger picture. We don't care about his well-being. Let's get him out there and see if he can make it through it. Couldn't make it through it. Now look at him. Now I'm not saying his career is over. He's in the career, but he's definitely in a situation where they got to reevaluate him and make sure he's okay before he can step back on the field again. I mean, 2 concussions in a week. That's very dangerous, as we know, for the brain. That's two. And if people don't know what a concussion is, it's a bruise on the brain. It's a bruise on the brain. That means your brain, you got hit so hard that your brain hit your skull and now has a bruise on it. It's been bruised now. So we don't know, and if anyone has a bruise, think about when you bruise your shin or you bruise your forearm or you bruise your hand. And you go first it's swelling, right? It's painful and it's swelling. Then you have the purple, right? The purple comes out because the blood is there. That part has to go away. And then it starts to heal himself. You imagine now on that bruise, you got the bruise once, and somebody hits you right on the same bruise again. How much more painful that is. How
Yeah.
much more time that swelling's gonna get. How much time that's gonna heal. I think that has to be what's going on. And I know that from the medical standpoint now with the NFL, there's gonna be a new protocol in place. They have to be. They know it. It was seen last on TV what happened. There's gonna be new protocols in place and go from there. I think it'll be the Tua rule. I think from now on, if
Mm.
you have a concussion or concussion symptoms, you're gonna be automatically missed 2 to 3 weeks in the NFL. Off the rip, no matter what. Now, that's going to hurt fantasy football and all that stuff, but who cares? That's got to be in place to protect your players and your employees, I believe,
Yeah.
because his situation just changed everything that's going on, man. And like I said, I hope he's lawyered up. I know he plays for the Dolphins, and you don't want to take anything away from them, but the bottom line is they put you in a situation where your whole career could have been ended.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if he's going to be the same player when he comes back. We don't know.
That's true,
We
right?
just,
I mean, like Jim is saying, I mean, that fall was really a traumatic brain injury, right? Just
yes.
that fencing, that defensive posture that he went into, and you can, folks, y'all can look it up for yourself. We're not making it up. You can, you trust the Google, instead of us, whatever.
Yeah.
You Google the fencing posture with brain injuries.
And also, I don't want to stay and take away, man. I mean, football, like you said, is a big part of my life,
Yeah.
and I love the sport. And concussions happen, but they're very rare. They don't happen, especially not extreme as this. What he had, you know, I've seen people with concussions. They don't stumble. They're able to talk and everything, but you have to take a little bit of time off to heal. I think I know this scares people, and we're gonna go back into people going into, oh, no, your kid shouldn't play football because they can get a concussion. The way Tua fell, you could get that if you fall off a skateboard.
Yeah.
Right? He fell and he lost all control and he hit the back of his head.
Yeah.
On both accounts. He didn't get hit where he was running into somebody and it was a collision and he got a concussion. He got the concussion because he fell, which you could do falling off the curb. You could do that playing basketball. You could do that playing soccer. So I hope this doesn't alarm people like, oh, I don't want my kids to play football because he's in concussion. The way he fell was more so than the blow he took. And I want people to, if they watch the replay, that's what they need to look at. The way he fell.
Yeah.
That can happen in anything you do. But the fact of the matter is they let him play again after he fell like that.
That's where it is, right? And that's where the controversy even is now with Coach.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because Coach McDaniel is being questioned about his leadership in terms of listening to Tua saying, I'm okay, I'm all right. You heard what the neuro consultant said. Let me put me back in, Coach, and just again the whole protocol, the whole process, the whole evaluation process of when they put you underneath the blue tent. What does that mean? What's going on under the tent?
I think like I seen an interview with Mike McDaniel today, or I heard someone they interviewed him today, and he was talking about that. He said he feels bad. He wouldn't never, they said that political stuff. I wouldn't ever put him in danger. But he said that he had the conversation with Tua throughout the week. And, after he passed protocol, they were having in-depth conversations. And he said he had all his memory. He didn't have any memory loss. He didn't have any symptoms of what was going on or whatnot. But my thing is, you're not a doctor. You're a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't, you're a coach and you wanted to play, but you shouldn't be allowed to make that call and have that influence on what medical says. And even though medical cleared him, we looked at it. We watched the hit.
We knew it was wrong. I'm not going to show it, because no one wants to see that, man. I'm not gonna, but everyone, who saw it cringe. You can search online if you want to see it.
You can't be cleared. Yeah, you can't be cleared by no doctor at that point. And even if based on the safety of your player, if you cared about him so much, right? Because I think that the scenario was like this. If that was your child, would you let your child play?
Wow.
If your child took a hit like that week, would you say, okay, he's okay to go again and play next week? Man. And I guarantee you, out of all the 30 head coaches in the NFL, the answer would be no. There is no way he's going to get back out there and play right now, no matter how tough you think he is or what he's going to do. They wouldn't do it because, one, we're starting to understand the long-term effects of concussion, and two, something like that, we already know it has times to heal. Not like you can't play after you have a concussion. Once it heals, like you have any other injury, you can go back and play.
Exactly.
But the fact that his was so soon, like I said, if you get a bruise and imagine somebody hitting you right back on that bruise again 1 week later, you would be like, oh my God, it swelled up again. All those things, the pain comes back again and everything like that. I think that's the problem. And I do think McDaniel needs to be held accountable as well. You're not the doctor. And if you saw that hit, he should have been like, I think we need to see somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe he cleared him, but I think we need to see somebody else because even though he cleared him, I need to make sure that he's A-okay.
Yeah, he's my guy. I need to make sure that he's all right to get back out here.
Yeah. And this is the question I also asked. Would they do that to Tom Brady? That happened to Tom Brady? Like would they force Tom Brady to get back out there right after 1 week? I think not. Would they force Aaron Rodgers to get back out there in 1 week? I don't think so. If Aaron Rodgers took a hit like that, we're gonna take every precaution to make sure it's A-okay before we put him back on the field. Tom Brady, we're gonna take every precaution to make sure he's okay before we put him back on the field.
Yeah, that's true.
So, man, I hate to say it, man, I hate to say it, but they use the players of color like they treat them like animals almost. Like, hey, get back out there.
Little Tuskegee action going on, you think?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Tuskegee. I don't want to go that far, but they don't have the same proper care for them sometimes as they do the other athletes. So we already know this on other stories we talked about. They don't.
I'm going to say we went deep into that, right? The whole lawsuits against traumatic brain injuries, and the fact that for folks who don't know or don't remember, black athletes were tested and graded on a different scale, on a lower mental capacity scale when it comes to, are you actually having traumatic brain injury? And they actually finally got that lawsuit overturned to whereas everyone is equal when it comes to do you have traumatic brain issues from playing from getting hit.
But I'm saying they'll put us in those situations more so than others.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hey, you hurt. We know you went through this. Let's go. And I say that because, again, I don't think they will put other players, and especially your quarterback, your franchise or your team. You don't throw them in that. You won't throw them in that. If Josh Allen had that same hit, I guarantee Josh Allen is not playing the next week.
He's sitting down. He's sitting down.
He's sitting down, man. We need to make sure you're right. And I don't care who cleared him. I cannot believe the Dolphins organization is that, or wants to pretend they're that naive from watching that hit to say he's going to be okay in 4 days. You can't. No person in this world is going to tell me anything different, including the head coach. I don't care if he passed protocol, because and I don't think people understand what protocol is. Protocol is they sit you in a room, they look at your eyes to see if they're dilated, and then they ask you a series of questions. And then they ask you, are you having any blurry vision? Are you having any headaches? That's the protocol. Now, they may do a little bit more in the NFL. They may do a CAT scan or not. I don't think this doctor did. And I don't think they do it on a normal level because the CAT scan costs money. So I think they ask questions and ask if they're having any symptoms that are. Most players are going to say, I don't have symptoms, even if they have them, because they don't want to get off the field.
Because they want to keep playing. Yeah.
They want to keep playing. So I like Tua, but I'm not saying I don't think he's not above a line because he wants to play. He wants to be out on the field. He wants to continue to compete. Now, I believe now this light has been shed on it a little bit with Tua's situation. I hope now they're able to kind of put together a better protocol. But Coach McDaniels, he's not. I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying it. You selling in front of the camera. I wouldn't do anything to hurt my players and all that. Blah blah blah. I get it. I don't think you meant for him to get hurt. I really don't think you meant for that.
Yeah, there's no malice in the whole thing. Yeah, right.
You meant there was malice, but you put him in harm's way. Even if you felt 1% doubt, you should have been like, nah, we need to go a different direction this week. I just don't trust it. And you can't tell me after witnessing that hit on TV that you can't feel 1% doubt. I don't understand why in 4 days, because remember it was a Sunday. He played on Sunday when he got the first initial, and then he played on Thursday the following week. So in 4 days, you think this young man is healed?
Yeah.
I'm not buying, man. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not falling for it.
When you say that, there it is, man. Y'all look that up there for that reference right there. That Montel just saying you're not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. This is an interesting statement here. Kevin Cox talk about, is it also because Tua still proving himself that he was deserving of that high draft pick and that high draft capital that the Dolphins gave him? He's not at that level yet. I
think that's true. That's true on Tua's side.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
He wants to continue to prove himself. He wants to show that, hey, I need to be out there. I need to play. And let's remember, Dolphins were undefeated going into that game.
Yeah.
I want to continue to win and continue to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
That had a lot. That had something to do with it. Yeah, that had a lot to do with it.
But where is it the coach and the coaching staff and the trainers should be able to supersede and say, hold on, something's wrong. Tua. Look, man, you took a bad hit, bro. I don't think you need to play this week.
Yeah.
You need to rest a little bit and get on. They need to be able to supersede that. And they're at the professional level. Because we superseded in high school. Kid gets a concussion, you're automatically sitting out a couple of weeks. College, you get a concussion, hey, you're automatically sitting out a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Why in the pros, where the velocity is a lot much faster, men are a lot bigger and stronger, that is, hey, we're going to go week to week and figure out if he's going to be all right.
Man, now, no, that ain't sound right coming out your mouth.
Man, like I said, I would understand a little bit if maybe it was a front hit, because these are more common and they know how to deal with these. You can put the extra padding and all that stuff to kind of deviate. And we know quarterbacks don't get hit like that.
Yeah.
They don't really get hit that much like that. But his, like I said, was like a fall.
Yeah, he got hit falling down.
He snapped his head back and fell. Yeah. So, like I said, that could happen in anything he does, anything you do in life, if you fall. But for him to have it like that, and then the severity of that, where he couldn't even get up and walk, he stumbled, and then we go 4 days later and you say, hey, he's all right, in a sport where you know he's going to have another collision, right? You know there's going to be another collision at some point to put him back in harm's way. That's why I feel he should sue. His family should say, we're going to sue you guys regardless for your negligence of putting my son back in harm's way.
Yeah, there's going to be something coming. There's going to be some checks cashed. There's going to be some. There's going.
Somebody else
is going to lose.
I don't know, man. I heard Tua's comments today, and he was just like, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't. He's really protecting the Dolphins, saying it wasn't their fault. Was it? As long as the organization's behind me, I'm gonna get better and I'm gonna be ready to go. And I get that because he's a young person and he's not thinking about the long term of his career, what can go on. He's just thinking about, hey, this is a freak accident that happened, it's an injury. But I do believe his family needs to protect him. They need to protect him just in case. Because as we've seen with injuries in professional sports, when you're damaged goods, they throw you away. Ask Isaiah Thomas in the basketball.
Ooh.
Remember him? He was killing it for Boston. Killing it in the playoffs. He got injured, and they were like, oh, just play through it. Man. He was like, no, I want to stop. They were like, no, play through it. We're going to take care of the end of the season. Man ain't been in the NBA since. He's just been 10-day contracting ever since.
Yeah. Good man, too. Good man. God, that's a good point. It'll come out because Tua, and we're gonna move on to our next stories, but Tua's gonna be part of the panel of folks that gets interviewed. So we're gonna hear it right from him as well. And we'll find out hopefully what's really going on. But I do think someone else is gonna lose a position. I think something's gonna happen.
Well, I think the protocol is going to change. I think it's going to change. I think NFL is going to have to innate a mandate protocol, regardless. Like, hey, if we think you got a concussion, especially something like that, you're going to be mandatory to sit out 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. I don't know what it's going to do, but they're going to have to come up with some protocol. I know NFL Players Association is putting some pressure on the owners to do that, and rightfully so. You got to protect. You got to protect.
You got to
some of these guys.
You paying folks these millions of dollars, $100,000 to go out there and play a game each night. Millions of dollars per year. Yeah, you got to protect these folks. 280-pound men running at you downhill. You protect us, man. Protect us.
Yep.
Well, them.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree.
We got two more stories, folks. Stay tuned because listen, we want to get into it. One story is a pro and con. I'm gonna try to pull some scabs and try to find some. I'm gonna ask some questions in my tail, and then we got one that just don't make no sense. But let me throw this up right quick. That's right, folks. Listen, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Wednesday, update your calendars. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn the notifications on because we talking the social impact of sport on Team No Sleep Wednesday. All right. Mm-hmm. I know everyone's used to Tuesday, but
Hey, best in the game, man. We best in the game no matter what day we go.
I was out of town. And then next thing you know, man, we didn't miss 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. Yep.
That's all good. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into this right here, and let's give some flowers and some shouts out.
Absolutely,
man. New York Yankees. Aaron Judge is out here doing it. He's hitting these balls 400 feet like it's nobody's business. He's already passed Roger Maris. He's hit that 60-second home run last night. It was cool. Right? Is this actually the video? Hold on, let me see if I can find the video. It was a good moment in baseball history. My question. Well, go ahead. Let me let you go first because I was going.
I think this is a great moment, man, in baseball history, and a great accomplishment for him, right? And he's still able to go. I think that he's doing a great feat. He's now the American League all-time home run hitter.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. When it comes to that, and I think he's got a few more left in the tank as he keeps going towards the end of the season. I don't like the shade thrown towards Barry Bonds.
Okay, you already going there because that's where I was going to go.
I don't like the shade towards Barry Bonds and how they say Barry Bonds is asterisk and this guy's the true home run guy. I'm not buying it. They can keep all those comments to themselves. But I do believe Aaron Judge belongs his name up there. And one of the great hitters with the Bonds, McGuire's, Sosa's, King Griffey Jr. and this brother right here is doing big things. I just think that it's great for baseball, man. Baseball needs an injection, man. They need it, especially on that side of American League.
Yeah.
Over here we got the Dodgers and the Padres and everybody over here killing it. And back on the on the AL, they struggling, right? They're struggling to kind of
they need some excitement.
I mean, Houston keeps beating the mess out of everybody over there.
Yeah.
The Astros keep
Yeah.
killing
Hey,
everybody.
shouts out to Dusty Baker out there doing his thing. Yeah. Shouts out to Dusty.
Yeah, they need some excitement. I think Aaron Judge is bringing a lot of light to it, and I hope much continued success, man. And I hope he can get the Yankees over that hump. But like I said, when it comes to this home run thing, I don't think nobody touching Barry. They're not touching Barry, and they're not touching McGuire, and they're not touching Sosa and Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, he's and Aaron Judge. He's in that elite thing, and someone's always going to say, "Hey, oh well, back then they were juicing." Well, so were the pitchers.
Oh,
so were the pitchers.
So were the pitchers. So were Roger Clemens. Yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
so if everybody's juicing, that means everybody's on an even playing field, right?
So okay, so here's the caveat that I was going to throw just to see what the reaction would be. And I was talking with someone. I was actually talking with Jim's earlier today about this. I think Barry needs to be in the Hall.
Oh,
I think. I used to think Pete Rose need to be in the Hall, but Pete Rose is chock full of crazy. And man, yeah, I'm praying for Pete Rose.
What's that got to do with his baseball acumen, though?
Okay, but listen, man, right now, Pete, I just can't get down with Pete. I even held on to Kanye for a long time, but now I've completely left him go. I've now unfortunately had to leave Pete Rose alone. But Barry needs to be in, and I don't think that there needs to be a special corridor for Astros. I don't think that there needs to be another level of folks for the Sosas, the McGuires, the Clemens, and the Bonds. I think what Barry did, even if he did, and he's never tested positive, and he always said that he didn't, even if he did, he still has to catch that 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he still has to hit it 400 feet.
Yes.
Man, listen,
that's something.
It don't matter how much juice you put in your butt. It doesn't matter how many nights you sit underneath a squat rack and get bigger or whatever the case may be. You still got to catch up to that 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and you still got to push it 400 feet.
Only one person can accomplish that right now is Barry.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they want to say, they can talk. They can say they can try to tarnish anything on his name, and I truly believe Barry's not in the Hall of Fame because of his relationship with the media. Right, who has a vote, which I don't know why they even have a vote.
Yeah, the writers, the baseball writers.
The writers, they shouldn't even have a vote, but they have a vote. But his relationship with the media was always, toxic. He didn't really give them too much, and they didn't give him any, they didn't give him a lot of respect or whatnot. But what he says, like juicing
doesn't teach you to hit and doesn't teach you to hand out. Right? Again, it just makes you stronger or whatever.
100%. But I'm gonna go back like I always tell you, James.
Yeah.
That era of baseball.
That was the one era that you liked.
Man,
right? Because you don't like baseball, right? If I took you to a ball game, you'd fall asleep in the second.
I'll chill, man. I'll chill, but I ask a lot of questions and be like, man, whatever. But that era of baseball, man, was unbelievable. I'm telling you, and I mean, people are watching Aaron Judge, right? So everybody's all this fan of Aaron Judge, and they're watching him on ticker on the watch and everything. Imagine that times 4. Remember that was what we was watching Barry, McGuire, Sosa, and Ken Griffey Jr. Every night we was watching to see what they did and if they hit and how exciting it was for them to be in baseball. And to this day, if baseball need to cut Balco a check, that's what they need to do because they interject him with a whole lot of media.
He said they need to cut Valco and Jose Canseco.
Balco a check. Yeah,
Balco and Jose Canseco a check. I threw Jose in there.
Yeah, you can throw them all in there, but I'm saying that was the most exciting time of baseball, and I'll argue with anybody about it as a fan. I was a fan of baseball at that point because I'm like, damn, these dudes is doing big.
Yeah.
And now I'm proud of Aaron Judge. He's doing it, and they cover him. But I don't think people that weren't alive or people that wasn't into baseball or people don't know if they watched this at that period of that era of baseball, it was the most unbelievable thing ever. And I mean, you had Clemens and Johnson throwing the ball. They're throwing 14, 15, 16 Ks a game.
Yeah. Bloody sock out there and all. I mean, just all of that drama. I mean, baseball was good during that era. It really was. It turned a lot of folks who didn't like the length of the game or whatever. That turned a lot of folks into fans. That's true.
Yes. That was exciting. But, man, Rose is the Aaron Judge, man. I hope he keeps hitting them on there. Me being a fan of Barry, I hope he doesn't break Barry's record, but I hope he goes and hit as many as he possibly can to get up, to get out there and be the Yankees all-time guy and the American League all-time guy.
I don't think he'll do it this year. I don't think he'll get 70 this year. I don't think he'll pass Barry this year. I think maybe in a couple more years, but I think Barry's cool right now. But
I got a question for you, though.
I got a question for you. Yeah,
I got a question for you. So I'm gonna speak. Now, how much they hate Barry. You know how much they hate Barry. I'm gonna put out that they hate Barry. Do you not think some of these pitchers are feeding him a little turkey ball out there for him to hit it out to catch Barry Bonds in this era?
The Rangers weren't. They actually pitched to him.
Okay, let's talk about the other teams.
I mean, no, they won't even pitch to him. They won't even throw to him. Yeah. So that is true. That most of the teams that have faced him since he probably got to mid-50s have said, listen, okay, we're not going to intentionally walk him, right? I mean, that'll just cause another ruckus and another riot. But I think some of these other pitchers, some of these other teams are throwing it in. They're mailing it in. They're not
That's
pitching.
What I'm saying.
They're not putting all the heat on it, right? They're not throwing them 98 miles an hour. They're throwing it 87. Right? They throw just a little slider to it where his favorite pitch. Come on,
see,
come
man,
on, hit that slider.
That right there, because you're a baseball advocate and you really like baseball.
Hold on, you know what? That's right. Jim is right. The season. It is October. I don't know what's going on. My kids are gone. I'm in a vulnerable state. I don't know what's going on. That's right. The season is officially over.
Oh, it's over. Okay. Well,
that's right. I forgot what month it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good, man. But man. I Barry, like you said, Barry deserves to be in there. But Aaron Judge, man. You get to go on that Mount Rushmore as well, man. The way you're doing it this year.
Yeah,
so
he's out there, and he's out there. And what Jim is saying, he thinks the pitchers, they don't want to be that guy tied in history that way, right? The one who threw
But no one minds being that 63 to 69. If you're the guy that threw him the home run before he hit the major one to tie the record to beat the record.
Then we forget about you.
That's not that big of a thing.
We forget about you. But you don't want to be 71. Listen, next year or you don't want to be that pitcher. You don't want to be that guy.
Everybody else is all good. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, well, we'll see how it comes out. It's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully it continues. Mr. Fuse here is a big Atlanta Braves fan, so congratulations to the Braves for doing what they needed to do to get into the postseason. We'll see how that all works out for everyone. I'm not even going to try to call it. I'm just watching the games and enjoying what's happening, but we'll see how that all starts shaking out. Maybe I'll make a prediction in a week or so.
This is the best time of baseball right now. I can tell you that. This is the only
time you watch baseball.
It's the only time I'm gonna catch some highlights. Exactly. Now it's playoff time. Yep.
I'm not inviting you to a Dodgers or a Padres.
I go to a Dodgers game. I want to eat the fat hot dogs.
There it is.
Chill. I go to that, but and I've been to the Padres games and I've been to the Boston Red Sox games, which that was probably the best experience I ever had with baseball with Boston Red Sox. That was awesome. I'm not against baseball, man. It's just not as entertaining to me as the other sports. So I don't flow with too much. 9 innings is a long time. 3 hours is a long time. But we'll talk. I won't pivot. I won't deviate too much. Let's go ahead and get locked back in. Let's get focused. We're gonna save this particular story for next week, and the story is about the Pro Bowl, the NFL Pro Bowl, and the fact that NFL has decided not to do the Pro Bowl anymore, and that's probably the smartest decision that they've made in a number of years. So we're going to dissect into that next week, and we want folks to definitely join in with that. But this story right here is just, let's see, energy at a playoff game is off the chart. Yeah, I love it. That's true. This story right here, River Valley High School football team is not playing anymore. River Valley High School football team has had to cancel their season because I hope some of my Facebook folks are watching right now, because I saw one of them actually make a post about this where she's experienced something similar to this. The headline here is California High School cancels football season after athletes filmed a staged slave auction prank. Let that soak in, just right there, right? Let that soak in right there. This is dated October 2nd, the year
2022. This is not 69, 65, or 90. This is October
3
2nd,
days ago.
2020. This is today, right? What is happening is that students participated in a skit to pretend that they were having an auction. They were pretending that the auction was a slave auction. The students who participated in this auction were their football players, and they were black football players. I'm going to show the video because I think the video needs to be seen in context for folks to understand what in the world is going on. And listen, hopefully you get offended and appalled when you take a look at this. So in class, you see three young black men with nooses around their neck, stripped down to their underwear in front of class. Folks are making fun of them. Folks are acting like they're selling these gentlemen. This is October 2nd, 2022. These are leaders in the social aspect of their school. The football players, right? When you play football in high school, listen, you big man on campus. You're not supposed to be participating in things of this nature, but this is what's happened here in California right now. Man, this is brutal. I'm having a hard time continuing to watch this, but I think again, just need folks to see what is happening, and this has been shared on social media because I think other students had a problem with this as well. But that's not why it was shared. It was shared because folks thought it was funny. That's why everyone's in this room. That's why everyone's participating. But I think a small minority of folks realize that, you know what, this ain't right.
I'm letting you let me know when you want to chime in.
I don't know. I know I'm getting warm in here. I'm getting hot. I'm actually stalling, hoping that some of the folks are grasping what's going on. And you're right, man. Just wow on this, right?
Yeah.
What would prompt the black kids to participate is an excellent question, tall boy. Right? How can a young black man who today, right, who is astute and aware of all the things that are happening in and around their community, their society, and just that it's keeping us down from succeeding. How can someone contribute to this type of reckless behavior and think that it's funny, think that it's smart, think that it's cute, think that it's did I just see the teacher in there too? Hold on. I know I didn't just see an adult in there. Hold on. Let's let this play one more time. No, it's what? This is in the this is in the locker room.
Yeah.
This is in the locker room. Look at him. Okay. You got some you got white kids, you got some Hispanic kids, you got some Asian kids. So it's a multicultural environment. All that's up there being auctioned off. Or three black kids. Man, go. I can't talk about this. Keep going. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go. There's two ways that I'm very upset about this, and Tallboy hit on it before. Like those three young men that was put in that position to do that prank, whether they volunteered or was forced or whatnot. I don't know why there was no fist swinging. You know what I mean? Or where's the upperclassmen? You know, where's the senior African American kids to help defend them if they're younger? You know, that part really irks me, man, because we're in a day in a society of knowledge, right? We're in an informational age, correct?
Yeah.
You know, we can get any information we want that's going on. And I'm not going to excuse those young 14-year-olds for not knowing the knowledge of how detrimental this is to our community and to our culture, you know, for not understanding how bad slaves are, and for them to allow these guys to parade them like they were being sold as slaves is unacceptable. It should have been fight worthy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Talbot. Yeah, you know the history of slavery. This is way unacceptable. So this is insulting, man, to everybody there. So I'm pissed off at them for one. Obviously, I'm pissed off at the students that put this together and doing all that, and the racial in tones that this displays. I'm totally. But for me, the school is not doing enough. So you suspended football, great. Okay, that's good. Why aren't you expelling those kids?
Yeah,
What?
I'm not down with just education,
No,
honest, open discussions and instructions around
hell
racism, as the
no.
story says. I mean, that's
Those
not
days are.
enough right there.
You
That's
you
not
mean to
enough
tell
right
me
there.
I just said we're in the damn information. You
Yeah,
mean to tell me these kids that are 14, 15, 16 don't know enough about racism and don't know enough about know about black history and all that stuff? And if you don't know, you know that that's wrong.
yeah.
We've known that's wrong since I've been knowing it's been wrong since I've been born, and my white friends have been knowing it's been wrong since I've known them since they were young, since
Mm-hmm.
5 years old. Well, my white friend, oh no, I'm not doing that.
Not even
So
gonna try.
I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not that honest. That open dialogue, education stuff. That's all BS for the school to give. They should be expelled because let me give you a thing. Will they hold up some Jewish students and put a swastika on there and say we're gonna
Come on now.
see where they want to go to, which concentration camp they're going to? You know why they won't do that? Because they know that school will be in an uproar. That school will be shut down in 5 minutes. They would cry. They would have a freaking a riot at that school trying to close that school down if they did anything that's anti-Semitic like that. So why is it okay for them to say we want to display these young black men as slaves, but yet if they did it the opposite and said we're going to do Jewish kids and have them up there, and I'm going to wear swastikas, I'm going to see what we're going to auction off to see what concentration camp they go to. There would be a freaking uproar, and there's not enough uproar for this. And I guarantee if they did that, all those kids will be suspended.
Yeah.
But yet we're just going to have an open dialogue about it. That's BS, man.
Let me ask you this, because again, this is definitely going to get heated, and I hope folks continue to have this chime in. Right, this is definitely going to be heated. I love this caveat that Tallboy put in. Be more mad at the black kids unless they were forced. Were they willing participants in this? Were they, again, you think again that these are football players, they're varsity football players, they're the big men on campus. They kind of are the ones who back in the day would be bullying, taking lunch money from all the other underclassmen. Did they play, and we don't know, we're just assuming, did they play a part in this to whereas they were okay with this, or were they forced into this? That brings out a whole nother dynamic, a whole nother aspect if they were forced into this. But were these kids who were willing participant in this? Did they come up with where did they get the nooses from? Where did they? Right?
I think even if they were willing to participants, I don't. At this point, right, the visual of what that is wrong. Yeah. And I agree with Tyler Boyd. I am pissed off at the black boys because if I was forced or not forced, I'm fighting.
Yeah.
I would never volunteer for that. And if you say, hey, you're gonna do this, we're gonna fight. I'm not doing that. There's no way you put me on film. We're going to all be with bloody noses and busted lips before we leave out of here, before you put me on this and display me like I'm some slave being auctioned. So that part right there, I am pissed off at them if they volunteered. And if they didn't volunteer, how come they didn't fight their way out of it? I'm mad either way with them because they didn't stand up for their race. They didn't stand up for themselves enough to fight for it and instead to be humiliated by those other kids. That's number one. I'm more pissed off about the school because the school is taking, hey, let's have open dialogue about this. No, let's be expelled. You need to be expelled about this. You need to be suspended behind this. There need to be way more than that done behind an action like this. Because again, if we did it to any other race of kids, if there's something blatantly displayed like this, the school would suspend them right off the bat. If you did that to somebody that was a part of the LGBT community and displayed them like that, they would be expelled because they're doing something out there that's amongst hatred and racism or sexism. Why is it not enough for here? Why are we having an open dialogue?
Yeah, I keep watching it because I'm looking at the black students' reaction when the camera comes in, and right. So let's watch.
They put their head down.
They put their head down and discuss and shame. And what I also saw, the person who opened the door was another black student in his underwear.
Was he black or was he Latino? I can't tell.
Okay, I'm not sure, but you saw when these kids saw the camera come in, the camera went. I mean, their heads went down in shame or disgust, or maybe that was part of the ritual or whatever the case may be. But that piece right there is telling and concerning as well, right? Just that drop of the head. They know it's wrong. They know it's wrong.
My part on this. Okay, let's excuse the non-knowledgeable, which are those young people right there.
Yeah.
Why isn't the faculty taking a harder stance when you do this? We have to be held accountable for our actions.
Kevin Cox hit it on the head right there, right? Staff and the faculty need to be held responsible for this.
Well, not the fact that they had it. I'm talking the fact about punishment. This is after the fact. We got to discuss after the fact. Why are they not held? Why are these kids held to be expelled or suspended or both, to be honest with you. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, they're in high school. They've learned something about slavery at this point. My daughter's a freshman in high school. She's learning about slavery right now. They've learned something about slavery and they know it's bad. Whether it's been a little bit or a lot. You know it's wrong. Just like it's wrong to insult Jews about the Holocaust. It's wrong to insult Asians about when they were coming over here, when they were reported over here. It's wrong to say anything bad about people that are LGBTQ. Yeah. Why are these kids just saying we're having an open dialogue about that's your punishment, about this is wrong? They know it's wrong. They know it's wrong.
They know it's and listen. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about why this is affecting me, even just a little bit more. Not just because my wife works in education and she helps to try to alleviate and try to fix and try to address a lot of these types of issues. But Tall Boy's asking, this in Southern California. No, man, this is right here in Yuba City. This is down the road from me. Right, mm-hmm. This is 20 minutes away from my house. So this is in my neck of the woods. These are students affected by this disgraceful behavior in my neighborhood, in my sphere of influence. So this is not right, and this is an issue that cannot be tolerated. Cher Jones is in the building. Appreciate you for joining. Let me throw this up here. Agree that the punishment must be severe, but expulsion is not the answer. In addition to typical punishment, they all need an active and significant school community service project that requires research, active volunteering in racialized communities, and develop something that results in mindset transformation.
And the answer that I respectfully
That's
disagree.
The right answer. That's the right answer.
Right. That's the politically correct answer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say that's the right answer, and I appreciate you for jumping in.
Yeah, and like I said,
this ain't right.
I just respectfully disagree. Yeah. I think expulsion is because we have kids that do things that are less severe and less degrading than that, and they get expelled from school. So why are these young people or these young men that should know better, and I do believe know better, should get off of that? Now I know expulsion is a big thing on their record, but just like African American kids have to be accountable for their situations and things they do in the neighborhood or back in the hood or back in lower income situations, these kids in Feather River or wherever they're from need to be accountable for their situations. Period. The punishment right now does not fit the crime, and suspension is not enough because they get to go back to the same environment, same situation, same thing, go back in. And I hate to say it, when people when they go around the same environment, a leopard doesn't change its spots. It goes back to the same ways they're going to be. And we already know, I agree with her about teaching a racial thing, about racial insensitivity and all those good things. But again, when they go home, we don't know what they're taught. We don't know if that mentality is at home. We don't know where that mentality goes from. And we know that mentality does supersede itself when it gets back around their friends, right? I can go to counseling all I want. Hey, I'm a cheater. I cheat on my family. I cheat on my wife. But and I'm going to say all the right things when I'm in the field of counseling. But as soon as I get around these females, I'm going to start cheating again. Because that's who I am. That's where I'm comfortable with. So I don't believe that's I just respectfully disagree that I don't think that that's just enough. Suspending them is not enough. They need to understand this is not going to be tolerated ever. Not the kids are going to need to understand, and their families need to understand it. This is not going to be tolerated. And if you do this in this school, in this environment, you are going to be expelled. We're waiting. Suspension is, suspension, detention. That stuff's over with.
Yeah,
you crossed the line.
This is something worthy of literally making a case out of and making an example of, right? I mean, these kids need to be removed from counseling is a piece of it, maybe. Education to the administration, to the teachers, to the staff is a piece of it. Everyone who is around filming, laughing, joking, and participating, they need to have a conversation done with them as well. Hold the parents responsible. That's a very interesting point as well, right? I mean, if it comes out that the black students were a willing participant in this, and then like your question was, if they help set all this up, man, come on,
expel them too.
You and I both had black mothers.
Yeah.
don't let a black mother find out, and I putting race in it because it is race.
Yeah.
But don't let a black mother find out that you, as a teenager, participated in a fake slave auction. Man, come on.
I agree, James. I 100% agree. I think if their parents see that, those black families, shit, I would hope they would come down on those kids like no other. And if you volunteer as well, you need to be expelled as well. If those 3 black kids were volunteering to be a part of the escape, you need to be expelled as well, because you helped them put that visual out there of something that we all know that is wrong. And again, we're not in the stage era where somebody just says a hearsay. This is on social media. That means it's never going nowhere. It's going to be out there forever.
Yep.
It
hit the world immediately right when it happened. And again, this is a story from 2 days ago.
Yep. So again, punishment fit the crime, and unfortunately, this is an extreme crime. Again, as far as the visuals out there in the school, it needs to have an extreme punishment. Because I guarantee, if you expel those kids, I bet you the next generation won't do it, or their friends won't do it again. Their parents will be accountable now because they have to find their kid another school. Now we have some situation has to go on onto your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if situations happen in inner city schools, they severely punish those kids. Whether it's right or wrong, they severely punish them. If something like this was to happen, I believe, in the inner city, I think it would be swooped on big, tall, and furious. Right? I think it would be furious that people would do. If this happened in Atlanta, I guarantee people's heads would roll. People would be outraged.
Yeah, just kind of like you said right here, right? You go to the you go to the hood, it'd be unacceptable. I'm not.
But I don't think
so Yuba City is. Yuba City's not like. Yuba City's not San Diego. Yuba City's not Sacramento. Not Roseville. It's a
small town.
Yeah, it's more of a small town. But again, that's obviously not an excuse. That's not any. This got me shook a little bit, bro, man. To be honest with you, this got me shook a little bit.
And I mean, I don't know. I forgot the lady's name that put up the comment though. But I mean, I understand where she's coming from. I do. I really do. I think education is always the best thing. But I don't know. I just don't know in that environment that's the best punishment for a crime like this. You know what I mean? For something like this. I think they need to be dramatically shook so they can change their ways and their outlooks on why they do things. Because anybody that thinks this is acceptable, that's a problem.
Yeah,
that is a problem. And to me, everybody in that room, and those 3 guys that was violent. I don't know about the 3 black kids. I don't know if they were part of it or not. But everybody in that room that thought this was acceptable needs to be accountable to a whole different standard.
I'm gonna put it on the screen one more time while we're talking, and then again, just look at everyone that's there. And I haven't listened to it, right? So after the show,
I didn't have any audio on mine either. When I saw it,
okay, I'm gonna listen to it and see what's going on. But this is a shame.
So to me, like, everybody in that room right now that's doing something, I need to know what they were doing in there, what was happening, and you're about to be expelled. Yeah. If I'm the principal, because we're not setting this tone to be in our school, and I don't believe the resources of just giving them counseling and educating them on race is enough. Maybe that also be a part of the situation. If you want to get back into school, you need to complete those classes. But until then, you're expelled. You don't go to the school no more. I think it needs to be something in that kind of realm to send a big time message.
So let's do this. And I snickered a little bit of this at what Tallboy said. Let the Shade Room, let D.L. Hughley and World Star get a hold of this. We are the only one that's diving deep into this, right? Other folks, other media outlets have just posted the story real quick. So, CNN had it covered, but we're diving into it. And again, I'm more vested in it because it's closer to my back of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, folks on YouTube, you know how to do this. You see how you can grab a clip, grab this section of this show, tag the folks that you know in media, tag the folks who you feel have a larger voice, larger audience, and say, what is going to happen about this? Tag this piece of our show and send it to D.L. Hughley. Send it to World Star. Send it to ABC, CBS, NBC. Send it to Fox. Send it to somebody because this whole thing needs to be exposed and needs to be talked about. And we need to figure out, again, why in the world, October 2nd, 2022, in Yuba City, California, we got 3 black kids being fake auctioned off in the men's locker room.
I don't have to, man, you said it all. I don't know. I don't have anything else to comment on that. Just that I'm just very disappointed.
Yeah.
It's hard to swallow.
You're right, that, it's absolutely sad. All the participants and their families should be exposed in all the major news networks. So again, I'm putting the action item and a challenge to everyone who's listening and watching to grab the clip from this on YouTube. You see it right there.
And you know what's funny,
share it.
James? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You know what's
No, it's all
funny
good.
about this whole thing?
Yeah.
Because I can already see them interviewing the parents or talking to the parents, and they're going to just say it was a tasteless joke. That's going to be the defense. It was a tasteless joke. They're young. They didn't know any better. It was a tasteless joke.
Sheriff Jones is right. Sean King needs to get up, man.
Yeah.
I'm sending that.
I'm
sending
sorry
to him
to remember your Sean. I'm sorry to remember your name on the comment, but thank you for the comment. But yeah, man, I can already see their defense. That's going to be the defense. It was a tasteless joke. They're young. They're adolescents. They didn't know any better. I'm sorry. I don't believe that.
Yeah, there's no excuse. No excuse for this one.
I don't believe that at all.
We'll let a lot of things slide, right? We'll let a lot of stuff slide, and American society is very forgiving, but this right here, this one right here,
I'm gonna tell you. You know what's funny? Because I can always say, well, they didn't know any better. Well, how did they know what a slave auction even is?
Chief is mimicking your words right there, right? He says, they should have known better. Come on, man.
But I mean,
this is.
But you already know when you're in the corner and you're in trouble, you're gonna lie and say everything to get your way out of it, right? Especially when you're young.
Yeah.
You tell any story, you're gonna say, "Hey, we were just having fun. We da 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 da." The parents are going to side with them. What were you? Cause I'm sure some parents already seen this. Oh, he was just a bad joke. Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry, that's inexcusable because you know what? People don't have the privilege to make a bad joke about LGBT. People don't have privilege to make a bad joke about the Jewish and the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish and Ariel Spears made a bad joke about pedophiles, and they almost got canceled by their whole business. You don't have the privilege to make bad jokes about sensitive situations anymore, especially something like this. So whether you're adult or teenager, you need to be accountable for it because everybody else that we've seen that these situations happen, it's been a very hard punishment or severe punishment that goes upon them. I don't feel these kids' situation any different. Now, I will say, do they need to be educated? Do they need to do sensitive training? Do they need to register? Yes. But they need to do that on contention if they want to come back to that school. Otherwise, you are expelled.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this on. Listen, we put everything out here. We talk about it, and I'm gonna have to, and I know Montel is as well. Gonna have to respectfully disagree with you, man. We're gonna have to respectfully disagree with you. Just some young brothers having fun in your eyes, man. This is not one of those times that's funny, right? This is one of those times that actually cuts at the core of any accomplishment, of any progress, especially for the African American experience. So yeah, this is there's nothing light about this situation. So we're going to have to respectfully agree or disagree, but I wanted to put your comment up there because you are an active member of the community. We appreciate you for coming in, and glad that you actually, if you felt that way, that you felt comfortable putting it out there. But yeah, I'm just going to say we have to respectfully disagree on that sentiment right there. So that being said, I want to be cognizant of everyone's time, and we're not going to continue to drive this into the dirt. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you for understanding. Do some homework, folks. Do some due diligence. Share it out with folks your community leaders. Share it out with your pastors. Share it out with your senators, congressmen, whatever, news agencies. Because again, this. Come on now. What's on your mind? Let me get off screen. You got something
the member of our community said, some guys having fun. What were they trying to get out of that? What were they trying to get out of that? Or in your opinion, I'm not understanding what the fun part is about that, or what was the funny punchline about that going on when he said that these were just young people trying to have fun. I'm not quite sure. And I disagree. I respectfully disagree, and I respect your opinion. Please don't. I'm not personally attacking you, but I'm not quite sure what was the laugh they tried to get out of, or what were they trying to get out of doing something like this? Because we've all seen the movies. We've all seen the slave movies. We've all seen Django. We've all seen those things, and we know how sensitive, how detrimental something like this and that visual hurts, the Black community and that culture. So I'm not quite sure where the punchline was, because like I said before, if they did it against any other race, or they did it against people of different sexuality, it wouldn't be just we're just having fun.
Yeah.
They would be crucified.
Yeah.
People would be wanting their heads and be very angry at them. And I don't know why when it comes to slavery and three little black boys that, hey, they were just having some young men just having fun. So I just want some clarification if you can comment on that. Yeah, and I want to see through your lens. You know, I really want to see through your lens how you're looking at it, and maybe I can learn something from it that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, Jim, drop that in the comments, man. Because again, I wanna make sure again we're cognizant of folks' time. I know folks got things going on, but people are too caught up with trying to get views on social media. This is hurting the black community. Noosh. Yeah, hitting it on the head right there, man. Right, trying to be cool, trying to get the likes and the views and the whatever it is, the TikToks and the Snapchats, whatever what are they doing? Trying to get viral, trying to be famous. Let me pull this skit off and see if I can get somebody to like me. This right here though, this sets us back. This not just us. This sets just the evolution of positive society back a lot. This little thing right here. This 10 seconds worth of video. Who knows what else happened outside of what we saw captured on social media.
Yeah, man, it's just not a good look. It's not a good
look. I'm through. Let's continue to be diligent though. Let's continue to bring these stories. That's what we do. Social impact of sport. We didn't talk about one score. we didn't talk about we didn't talk about what's going on. Is anybody playing tonight? I don't know what's going on, but we get serious here. Right, we rise above the noise and we have these hard conversations, these awkward conversations. So hopefully you respect us for that. Right. Hopefully you come here looking to have these awkward conversations and these learning conversations. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna shine the lights on it. Montel's gonna hit it to you right in the mouth. Right. And you are always welcome to comment. Folks, y'all know the links. Most of y'all know the link. You can come on camera with us as well and have these conversations. Maybe next week, if we go into this even more, some of you in the community come on screen and talk to us, talk with us. Right. And just have some further on conversation. So with that, man, go ahead and bring us out, Montel.
Yeah. You know, always say your prayers and reach out to someone that you love. Tell them you love them. But I think my new catchphrase is going to be, let's get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. I'll give you some of the revenue from it. I'll cut you. I'll give you 10% off the top. Say that one more time because I want to make sure I get it right.
Hey, the new catchphrase for the show is going. Let's get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations. That's what we do.
Y'all be good. Appreciate you for everything. Community, y'all stay up. Share this out to folks, man, because this is real talk. We out.